Well, so that happened. So yeah, it was a great weekend of the NFL football playoffs. With the games on Saturday, the San Francisco game turned out to be better than expected. We do discuss that game as well as the Baltimore Houston game and kind of where Baltimore is, where Houston is. We spend most of our time talking about the Kansas City Buffalo game, and I guess the questions that everyone's been asking: Did Kansas City win? Did Buffalo lose? Give our thoughts. Actually, do have some stats to back it up. We picked the AFC and NFC Championship games with some surprising picks. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and also you can leave our comments on our YouTube videos. We have been putting the podcast up on YouTube, so come check us out. We love to talk with you guys back and forth. Look for us on social media on Facebook and on Instagram. Welcome to the number one sports podcast in Sanford, Florida. This is Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capison. I'm here with Dorian Cody.
Is Pat Mahomes the new Tom Brady playoffs?
Yes, but we'll get to that later. And BJ Thomas.
Do not prop bet playoff football. It's a different monster.
Yes. So we'll get to the NFL in a minute, but I do want to say one thing about college football. So if you bitch, moan, and complain about players getting NIL money and transferring out to different schools, well, don't say a damn word about coaches going back and forth. I will bet dollars to donuts you got an All Lives Matter T-shirt in your closet.
I think this is an odd week for you to bring this up since Jim Harbaugh is about to be the coach of the San Diego Chargers.
Wow.
I mean, look, man, the NIL makes it a fair playing field now. I mean,
it needs to be tweaked.
Okay.
These kids, because Alabama was punished for Nick Saban making a bowl game and retiring after they lost.
Yeah.
And so now all the kids were able to jump ship like that. So it needs to be tweaked a little bit.
I do like your idea that you brought up a couple of weeks ago that if you have an NIL deal with the school, there is money tied to you playing in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something. But this is all post bowl game. All this happened post bowl game. Nick Saban retired, and they left like rats off a ship.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So it needs to be tweaked a little bit. They should be able to move freely, but I mean, would they lose like 5 starters, 6 starters, not to mention multiple bench players?
What I heard is they lost 12 4- and 5-star players.
Whew. Syracuse got a couple. I was nuts. I cannot believe what's going on up there. They might not win the ACC, but they're going to fuck somebody's season up this year.
Yeah. I don't know. They have a good chance, man. They also lost Bill Goldberg's son decommitted from Alabama. Now he's going to Colorado. So they say he's pretty good. So
I think they should let Goldberg down on the sidelines for the home games.
Yeah. Well, apparently Goldberg and Deion Sanders are like brothers. Well, that's pretty cool. Because they played with each other in Atlanta when we were playing with the Falcons. So
wasn't he a defensive lineman or something?
Yeah, he was a defensive lineman. So he was like, outside of Saban, there's no other person that I want my son to play for than Deion.
And my thing about transferring is if you don't want kids transferring from school to school to school, that's fine. Have them sign full-year scholarships.
Yeah.
If right now they're on 1-year scholarships, they sign that contract, they fulfill the 1 year, and they're gone. You want to change that? Sign them to 4 years. Guarantee them a 4-year education.
It will never happen.
Nope. So then I don't give a damn.
Because the first minute they find a kid better than him, they will replace him.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, there are some quick, easy fixes. It's not going to fix all of it, but there are some things they can do, but they won't because there's too much money involved.
Yeah.
But speaking of money, we'll move to the big money maker. We'll move to the NFL. So we'll start this in
big money maker for them. 50 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 catches cost me a shot at $800 and some odd dollars this weekend.
Hell, bro.
Oh yeah, I only bet like $50 or $60 over 4 games.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a big loss. But the point was, had these sons of bitches done their job, I would have had $800 and some odd dollars.
We'll get to the wide receiver who runs his mouth and drops passes, but we'll get to that later. But we'll start in Houston. Well, actually, we'll start in Baltimore, where Houston played Baltimore. Is Baltimore really that good, or did kind of Houston just kind of cap out what they can do?
I believe Baltimore is that good. I mean, they started off rusty, but that second half, I don't know what speech whoever gave, but it worked. But Baltimore is legit, man, especially on defense. they were able to confuse C.J. Stroud on those third downs where he wasn't able to convert. So they would the defensive coordinator from the Ravens. He's pretty skilled at being able to disguise where it looks like a blitz, but they'll jump in and then go back into coverage. It's like, oh shit. So those windows get smaller.
Let's not forget, this is not the first time that Mike McDonald has coached against C.J. Stroud.
Well, this is also a 1A, 1A or 1B defense.
Yes.
I forgot.
You know what I mean? This is one of the top defenses in the league, if not tied for first with Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what I noticed about that game. Do you remember when Mike Vick used to take off?
Mm-hmm.
There was like an intensity and like he's kind of almost like a chicken with his head cut off kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When Lamar takes off, he looks so relaxed.
Yep.
He's just gliding through the secondary, gliding through the linebackers, kind of making moves, stopping, starting. That's going to be really dangerous from this point forward.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to throw the ball.
Exactly.
He chooses to throw the football.
Right. I don't know if you guys saw, but Steve Young was speaking with Rich Eisen. He said the same thing about Lamar. He said Steve Young said that Steve Young knew that he was in that echelon of quarterbacks when he said, you know what, I decide to throw the ball, I decide to run. And when he was able to capture that, that's when he knew that he was hard to stop. And he said the same thing he sees with Lamar. Like you said, Lamar knows that, you know what, I can run, but I have the confidence in my throwing ability, my passing ability. So
and the thing with Lamar, and this was all coming from college, Pacino in college, was could he progress through his throws? Because he didn't need to in college. It was 1, 2, go. In the NFL, he's learned to progress. He gets to his third, fourth receiver, and if they're not open, he has that ability to take off. He doesn't use it that often. I think he had like 12 rushes. So, I mean, he does use it more often than not, but he doesn't have to. He can progress 1 receiver, 2 receiver, and figure out where the ball needs to go.
Did y'all hear that knock? I heard somebody knocking. That's Mark Andrews walking back into the locker room this week also.
I heard that he was not activated. He was practicing, but he wasn't activated.
I'd activate him just to have him on the roster, just in case.
Yeah.
He didn't have to play, but just in case he feels good in the next couple games.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Isaiah Likely though. He's
been fun to watch.
Up. Yeah. He stepped up.
He needed 15 more yards to fill up my prop bet, son of a bitch.
This is gonna be all night, so just, ladies and gentlemen, just.
Oh yeah, no, this weekend hurt. It was so close. There was only one that was bad. One prop bet, it was I hit 2 out of 5. It was terrible. Everything else was like 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5. I'm like, oh no. Oh, I'm just sitting here in the fourth quarter like, somebody score to keep the offenses going. Somebody score. Somebody score. Turnover, interception. Thanks, Josh Allen, you piece of shit.
No,
well, I tell you, Josh Allen is a turnover machine.
Yes.
It's just I've been saying it all year. We've been saying it all year. You Buffalo fans can get butthurt. He loves to put that ball on the ground. And if that offensive tackle had not been hustling at his max speed,
yeah.
And if Kincaid had not slapped that ball out of the defender's hand as he tried to pick it up, that game would have been over. That game would have been over right then and there. That exact minute.
What did I text you guys when that happened? The entire city of Buffalo had a heart attack. Well,
Me too. My prop bet was still alive, and he's out here dribbling the ball. I'll tell you, big man hustling though. Yeah. That was fun to see. He came diving in there. He'd have broke somebody's arm if they were reaching for that ball.
So we'll jump to that game because why the hell not? I guess the question that has been on all the shows, and I guess we have to ask it: did Buffalo win it, or did Buffalo lose it, or did Kansas City win it?
This is the easiest answer, but truthfully, both.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Kansas City played good defense against possibly the hottest offense at this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 stats that prove to me that Kansas City won that game. Okay. First of all, they had the fewest third down attempts in any playoff game in NFL history. They
punted once, didn't they?
They punted once. They had 5 third down attempts the entire game.
They were impressive.
Okay. So, and that leads me to my other stat. So, last year, when Georgia played TCU in the drubbing that was the national title game, okay, they had 72 plays, 31 first downs. Okay. There was about 44.5% either, every play was either a first down or a touchdown. Kansas City on Sunday, 47 plays, 21 first downs or touchdowns. 44.6% of the time they did a play, it was either a touchdown or a first down.
I think people have forgotten because it's been 17, 18 weeks now. That offense was terrible for 10 weeks.
Yes.
At least 10 weeks. Terrible.
There was a point in the fourth quarter where Mahomes had more completions for more than 20 yards than he had incompletions. He shredded that defense.
I think outside of the Ravens, I think the Chiefs are the most dangerous. So I'm almost willing to say the AFC Championship Game is the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't say that because we do have shows in a couple of weeks, but yes.
But I think also too, man, Kansas City found a gem in Isaiah Pacheco. He's been fucking solid the whole year. And he
so use him by the goal line.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. That McCole Hartman shit, I don't know what that was. But
a chance to keep my prop bet alive.
So
man, you're right.
I want to ask you guys. So that whole Hardman play by the end zone where he fumbles it out of the back of the out of the end zone, out of bounds. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that rule? Where if it's a fumble, goes out of the end zone, it's a touchback.
I'm sick of them changing rules to make football more palatable for people. The fact of the matter is, hold on to it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
I want to play for you guys two takes on that play. You tell me what you think.
I am so on the other side of this. I'm not even in the same room as Marcel. This is the dumbest rule in football. Let's stop treating the end zone like it's some hallowed ground. What happens in this situation should be a loss on down, return the ball to the line of scrimmage, and if it is on fourth down, then it becomes a turnover on downs at the line of scrimmage.
Go Barnwell?
There has to be more punishment, but the punishment does not really fit the crime. I don't agree with Marcel. I've always advocated for the reverse touchback. Loss of down, push the ball back out of the red zone to the 25-yard line. There's a punishment, but you're not losing the football for stretching the ball out a little bit near the goal line.
Fuck those people. There are games where people will play 4 quarters to get 1 touchdown.
Right. Yes.
Like, it is hallowed ground. It's not a given that people are going to get touchdowns on any given possession.
Right.
The defense is basically already handicapped. The over the last decade or so, the NFL has changed the rules to make the defense's job much harder. Now, one of the few things they can do to get the ball back, you want to take it away.
Yeah.
This is why I stopped watching these shows. I hate all these people. Oh, they're just stupid. They just pick stupid takes and they run with them to keep the conversation going. I hate those shows.
I heard that last night and I'm like, am I on drugs? Did I hear that right?
It's not hallowed ground. Yeah, bitch, it is.
And what makes it worse is her take was not as bad as the second take.
Yes, it was, because it set up the second take.
Fair.
Yes.
So do you think they should keep the rule or just make it to where if you fumble out of
here's an idea. Hang on to the damn ball.
Yeah, what else are you going to take away from the defense? They can't hit you in your mouth. They can't drag the quarterback to the ground. They can't hit you as you're about to catch the ball. They have to let you catch it, then tap. Like, you're handicapping the defense so much. Why don't we just do 7-on-7?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you guys not a fan of, let's say, in that play when they fumbled the ball, it'll be what play was that? Was it third down? Or?
That was first down. That was first and goal from the 4.
All right, so when he fumbles out of bounds, you don't think they should just go for it to be second down?
Could you imagine Don Beebe running 80 yards for a touchback? Or bringing it out to the 25? He ran 80 yards, chased down Leon Lett, punched that ball out.
Yeah. So I will say this. So the argument I can understand is on a normal play, if you fumble the ball and it goes forward and then it goes out of bounds, they will back it up to where it went out of bounds, where it was fumbled. Not the line of scrimmage, but where it was fumbled. So I could see that in a way. But no, again, don't fumble the ball by the end zone.
Yeah, if it goes out of the end zone, I mean, I don't know.
And you can't say, well, if it goes out of the back of the end zone, it's this. If it goes out of no, fuck that. Don't fumble the ball.
Fumble the ball. Just hold on to the damn thing.
Yeah.
And
again, if you're first and goal from the 4, hand it to your power back, not your wide receiver who's got fumbling issues.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
I'm stunned. And by the way, if you can go back to this year, I can't remember all the plays. Nicole Hardman has been a terrible pickup for the Chiefs. He's done some dumb shit. He's fumbled punts. He's made bad decisions running the football. Like I would not put him in the game. I don't care what team he was a part of.
Yeah,
I mean, remember he came from the Jets, so
he was originally
from the Jets after he left the Chiefs.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So he learned some bad habits, probably more likely with.
No,
the Jets.
there's a reason why the Chiefs let him go the first time.
I thought he left for free agency.
It was salary cap.
Yeah,
salary cap.
They're in a salary cap crunch, and they will be for the next few years.
We've talked about this for a while. Is offensive coordinators try to get cute? They try to outsmart themselves. No, you've been pushing them around all game. Use your power back, who is one of the strongest runners in the league. He'll get 4 yards. It may take him 4 carries. He'll get 4 yards.
I am not opposed to that play, running sideline to sideline with a 4-3 guy, as long as he knows how to carry the football. That's what I mean. They had been running Pacheco between the tackles.
Yep.
And he was successful. So the play call, I don't have a problem with. Who they handed the ball to is who I have a problem with. Give that ball to number 4,
Rice.
Rashay Rice.
Yeah, Rice. Yeah,
give it to him. Rice. He's been showing out for like weeks now.
Yeah.
Give it to him. And so at what point do the Bills start to call Mahomes daddy? Is it this? Was it last
today.
week? Was it today? Is today fine?
Well, yeah. Well, Sunday. I think today's 2 days late, but Sunday.
Because he has fucked that team, made love to that team. He's done every which way. Every which way. Daddy is the appropriate term.
So we did this last week with the losers, and we'll do it again this week. So where does Buffalo go from here? Is there anywhere where they can go?
Josh Allen's salary triples, I think. Goes from 14 to 47, I believe, is the number. That's like that's 3 contributors.
They need to figure out what they're going to do at the tight end position. Like is Kincaid the man or Knox? I was thinking Kincaid is the man.
Kincaid's a rookie. Knox is a solid number 2. That's the least of their concerns.
How about having wide receivers that can actually catch the ball?
Stephon Diggs had 80 targets this year and only had like a handful more yards than Shakir, and Shakir had like 30 targets. Think about that.
Yeah.
I think either Diggs is going downhill or he's mentally checked out of that organization.
I think he's checked out.
Well, that's not good because his brother wants him on the Cowboys. We don't need any of that horse shit.
Yeah.
We got enough of those guys as it is.
Yeah. So, this was the year for Josh Allen. His contract this year was total was about $18 million for the cap hit with all the restructuring, base salary, and all that. Next year, his cap hit's $47 million.
Yeah. Kapow.
Yeah, you're right. This year was the year they had the Chiefs because you already know, regardless of what happens with the Chiefs on Sunday, they are going to retool.
I don't like to put the death nail in anybody's coffin like this because it's up to the GM now. Right. It's up to the GM and the coaching staff to be like, we're going to have to draft.
Yeah, this is when you earn your money.
Yeah, Von Miller won't be there next year. They aren't going to be able to afford that. Somebody from that secondary is most likely going to be gone because that secondary's been together and paid.
I think Poyer. Is the one.
Poyer and who's the other one?
Poyer and
the other safety. Oh, I can't think of his name.
Number 7, right? Number 7.
I'm not sure. It's my fault. I should have brought it up without knowing. But there's another safety who makes somebody. There's more people in that secondary that are going to have to get paid. They just paid a linebacker. Was that Edmonds? Whoever came over from the Eagles.
Jermaine Edmonds? No.
Maybe. I don't know. I got to look at this roster now.
For the Bears.
But the point still remains. I mean, they're in salary cap hell, so there's not really much room for growth. So for them to improve, they have to do it through the draft. They have to teach Josh Allen to not turn over the damn ball.
The linebacker I'm thinking about went to the Bears. I'm nuts. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, Jermaine. Yeah, Jermaine.
T.J. Edwards.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it's also I think it's a mental thing as well, because it's like what they try to do is it seems as if the Bills tried to have Josh Allen win it and play hero ball. You can't do that. Like for example, like
Micah Hyde is the other safety.
Whatever.
Micah Hyde is the other safety. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, you Hyde and Poirier, but I think Poirier is. I think this is last year or maybe next year, something like that. Because I was reading that. But I was saying was like, why they stopped running the ball with Cook? James Cook was getting yards. Like, why go away from that?
Well, the Bills did what I saw the Colts do in Week 17, and I've seen teams do this, and it's almost never successful. Is I think the Bills got the ball with about 7 or 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down by 3, and just decided we're going to slowly get the ball down the field and not give the other team. They played scared.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if this was James Cook or if it's more of a credit to the Chiefs. I believe it's more of a credit to the Chiefs. Cook started dancing behind the line of scrimmage. And that shit doesn't work.
No.
Yeah.
Not in these games. Not this late in the year. Not after there's so much. You have to hit that hole and
you have to be decisive and strong.
Yeah. And he was not. He was chopping feet at that line of scrimmage. And that doesn't work, especially when you're a 200-pound running back.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not Zeke. It's not like he's going to take 2 steps and gain some kind of massive momentum and push somebody.
Yeah.
Like if he's chopping feet, he's getting hit in the backfield.
So why did they bring playoff Lenny there if they was going to have him sit on the bench? I thought that's the reason why they signed him for these moments.
They must have seen something they didn't like.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have signed him earlier and let him work into this.
Absolutely.
I don't know. There's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, to go back to my point, so they got the ball with 8:23 left, down by 3. Okay, they were moving the ball. It was 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 40, with 4 minutes and 47 seconds to go. They kicked the field goal at the 26 with 1:47. They played like we can't give Mahomes back the ball. They played scared.
I'm looking at this depth chart. I would say Gabe Davis is. I'm not looking at contracts, so I don't know when they end. So forgive me if I'm talking about players with 3 years left. But I would say Gabe Davis has probably played over what he's getting paid. He could probably get a higher contract by leaving that team. Osiris Torrance was a rookie. That offensive line's been pretty solid. There's going to have to be money spread around this team, and Josh Allen's contract is going to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, and Gabe Davis is an unrestricted free agent.
There you go. So I'd be surprised if Gabe Davis is back. And while his stats aren't spectacular, he's bailed the Bills out of a lot of situations over the past few years.
And didn't he have like a 4-touchdown game in the playoffs last year?
I'm not sure about that.
It was last year or the year before, I forget which. But yeah, I mean, and by having a solid number 2, it allows your number 1 to have better coverage against him.
Yeah.
It's the Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin thing. You know, Harper wasn't a number 1, but he was a great number 2, and that allowed Irvin at number 1 to get better coverage and not just be bracketed.
Yeah, like Jerry Rice and John Taylor too.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's going to be some real problems for the Bills depth chart wise coming up.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be pretty creative, and they're going to have to draft well. Which honestly, I'm not sure that's their strong suit.
Well, outside of like Pittsburgh, who drafts extremely well?
Cowboys draft Pro Bowlers.
Okay.
They can't, for whatever reason, they can't put it together, but you can't deny the talent. That's one of the things that gets the Cowboys killed every year, is they are one of the most talented teams in football. And look what happens every fucking year. So
Yes.
The Rams been okay too. They drafted pretty good.
I mean, Puka Nacua will cover you for a couple of years.
Yeah, Puka. And even it wasn't Cooper Kupp was a third rounder too.
Yeah, that'll cover you. That'll cover you for a couple of years too.
Yeah,
and they're looking
Kyron
pretty.
Williams
Kyron
was
Williams
a
looks
third
pretty smart.
round. Or no, he was sixth round. I think was it sixth, like somewhere around there, fifth
We
round.
can't count Aaron Donald. That was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But see, and that's the point. I want to say Aaron Donald was the first round draft pick. They didn't go for the sexy shiny object on offense, even though Puka was, but I think he was still a second, third round pick. Is they went inside out, build your base, and then move out. That's how you draft. And outside of the three teams that we listed, maybe two teams that we're missing, nobody really does it. They always go for the shiny objects.
I don't know. The Texans knew what they were doing. The Texans have seemed to have learned how to draft this year. We'll see how that continues to go. Yeah. There's some teams out there that are pretty good at it. The Seahawks, before Pete Carroll was fired. Especially the last few years, they'd found some gems. They found some defensive backs, some defensive linemen. Tyler Lockett, I don't think he was a high pick.
No, he wasn't. I think he was.
Tyler Lockett's. Tyler Lockett's like with a good pair of shoes the last 3 years. He didn't owe you a penny.
Yeah.
Now, I guess my question is that the GM finding talent, diamonds in the rough, or is that coaching up the talent that's on the roster?
Well, that goes hand in hand. Because look at the Cowboys. They have Pro Bowlers and can't get out of the first round of the playoffs. And then you have the Seahawks, who have been drafting with Pete Carroll, and was it John Schneider, I believe, is the GM?
Yes.
And they've been developing talent for a decade and have a Super Bowl ring to prove it.
And Geno Smith was on
a second Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah. And Geno Smith was on the trash heap, and look what they did with him.
So it goes hand in hand. You can bring the talent in there, but if you can't mold the talent, you get the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Stats, beating teams that are supposed to be beat, things like that.
I do think it's funny that the rumor mill is churning up as to where Pete Carroll's going to go. It probably by the time this episode drops, that position would be filled, but I do think it's funny.
I have to say this, since we're talking about the Cowboys. As far as like the blowing smoke draft, how about the Eagles? That did not pan out well.
No.
Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. People are running the ball and scoring on you all day.
Is that a talent thing? Is that a coaching thing? Or is that hey, it's my buddies from college, we're just going to hang out and not really focus thing?
I don't think that's it. I think it's a coaching thing. They wouldn't have fired a defensive coordinator mid-season at 10-3 at the time, I think, 10-2, if something wasn't going on. Those guys are talented. There's a good shot that Jalen Carter's Rookie of the Year, but it just didn't. It's not working together.
We're staying in the NFC East. So BJ, I know you heard the chatter about the family members of Cowboys players tweeting it, posting shit, right?
You just mentioned it.
Right. So my thing is this. So what validity is it if my mom, so let's say my mom would have posted some shit like, hey, BJ sucks as a Gator fan. Is that a conversation me and her had, or is that something that she sees on herself and she's making her own opinion?
Well, so if I were you, I'd be like, Mom. She'd be like, yes. I'd be like, do you like your car? She'd be like, yes, but shut the fuck up. Yeah, I hope Micah and Dak are like, look, both of you, shut up. Right. CD Lamb, Mom, you're making things worse than you are making them better.
Right.
Stop.
Right. But the rebuttal
and the grass isn't always greener.
Brother.
He's an idiot. The grass isn't always greener. Where are you going to go and compete for Super Bowl rings and get the kind of touches you're getting, CD? Where are you going to go? Because most of the people that can afford to pay you are not going to be competing for playoff spots. Right. That's how the NFL is set up right now.
Yep.
Right.
Every once in a while, you'll get lucky, and one time a year, the Eagles might have some money, or the Chiefs might have some money, but they have good players on their team that they have to pay. So where are you going to go, CD? Where are you going to go, Micah? You going to go play for the Bears? Go ahead.
And that's what people don't understand is the windows for teams to be good in the NFL is about 3 to 5 years.
Mhm.
And then it really is creativity, accounting creativity on the GM. Is who are we going to pay, how, and keep this team together. I mean, that's why the Legion of Boom, Seattle. You mentioned it. Carroll has one Super Bowl ring. Competed for another, and then really hasn't made it back since because that window closed. They had to start paying people. It happened. It happens with the Cowboys, even though they haven't made it that far. It's going to happen with the Chiefs here very shortly. When that Mahomes contract extension kicks in, he's good enough to get them to the playoffs himself, but they're going to start losing pieces here.
They've already done it. And they're recovering from it. They started out this year shitty. You don't lose somebody like Tyreek Hill and just be okay. And then Juju Smith-Schuster, who not a big fan of, but the truth be told, last year he carried that receiving core.
Mhm.
And they've recovered from both of those losses, and they're on their way to the Super Bowl. I'd be surprised if the Ravens beat them.
So we'll pick it later.
They contain Josh Allen. The only difference between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson is the speed.
Yep. So, but we'll talk about windows and opening and closing. I know we've said this in the past, but I think Green Bay has the model for what you do with a quarterback when you draft him. You sit him for a year or two, and then you bring him in.
Well, I'm not sure that works for everybody. It might be better, but there's other guys that can overcome it.
So you're saying that Trevor Lawrence would have been better had he sat behind Gardner Minshew for a year or two?
I think Trevor Lawrence has been overrated for a long time.
I can start to see that as well. I do feel as if he would have fared better being behind Gardner Minshew.
Do we forget how stacked those Clemson teams were?
Yeah,
they were.
Some of his wide receiving cores, insane.
Yeah. So,
Offensive, defensive line, insane. Those were stacked teams.
So Deshaun Watson. So of all the recent Clemson quarterbacks that came out, would you say that Deshaun Watson was the most talented of the? I think it was only 3. It was 2 technically.
we're talking Watson and Lawrence. Who else
Watson,
are you thinking?
Lawrence. I was thinking of the person who Deshaun Watson took over for, but I don't think he made it to the NFL.
I was just about to say, I don't think if you can't call his name out, I'm not sure it's worth continuing this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not being rude to you. I'm just saying, like,
no,
that's the drop off we're talking about here.
Yeah. Yeah. Kelly something, if anything. But anyway, but of those two, who's the most talented?
Brian, Kelly Bryant, I think is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think Kelly Bryant.
Yeah, who gives a shit.
Yeah.
But
playing a wide receiver in the CFL.
He is?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just being an asshole.
The Terrell Pryor.
I mean, geez, you look at Deshaun Watson this year, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
That offense works. They brought some dude off the couch. It works.
Yeah.
So, I mean, can we say same? Is same? I mean,
are Clemson quarterbacks kind of falling into the realm of Alabama quarterbacks?
No. You're talking about a 50-year abyss.
Yeah, that's tough.
I saw it somewhere where Wyoming quarterbacks have more playoff victories than Alabama quarterbacks.
It's all Josh Allen, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. But name an Alabama quarterback that has won a playoff game.
Joe Namath, Kenny Stabler.
In our lifetime.
Yeah, and my sperm wasn't even alive.
Yeah, that's tough.
But getting back to that Green Bay game. So do we trust Brock Purdy in San Francisco now, or is that just an aberration?
Well, I know this. Brock Purdy can't touch Jared Goff. And people who are Niner fans, they say, "Oh yeah, well, Brock is a better game manager than Jared Goff. And they were saying, and I was telling them, okay, let's say you switch quarterbacks, right? You put Jared Goff on the Niners and you put Brock Purdy on the Lions. Do you think the Lions will have the success that they have this year?
Oh,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But when I'm comparing quarterbacks, what I like to do is, with 2 minutes left in the game, who's more likely to take the team they're currently with down the field in that time frame and win the football game? And the answer is Jared Goff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Reynolds, Jameson, Williams, and those running backs. The Lions are more likely to go down that field in a 2-minute drill and win the game. If the game is close and they wind up with the football, Detroit will beat San Francisco.
So going back to your game manager conversation, okay? One quarterback has 30 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. The other quarterback has 31 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Who's a better game manager? So
who has the most game-winning drives?
Goff.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. We can run up. Trust me, I watched Dak Prescott this season. We can run up numbers against teams. It's fine. I watched it. Just run up the numbers against teams you're supposed to beat. Numbers are numbers. But when it comes to who wins the game, when it matters, it's going to be Jared Goff and the Lions.
And I will tell you this, that this a sneaky thing to look at is, and we talked about it during the regular season where Brock Purdy was without Debo and Trent Williams. Mm-hmm. Look at how he was in that game without Debo. Mm-hmm. He looked off. Well, as soon as Debo got hurt, he did not look the same.
I would like to take credit for telling you not to put Debo in your parlay. I was like, Debo's. I don't know. I haven't heard.
He's 50-50 at this point.
Ooh.
And my thing is, if he's 50-50 playing, he's probably going to play because it's NFC Championship game. I would play too, but how effective will he be for as much contact as that man takes?
I fully believe the Lions defense can muster up a good 3 quarters that the Lions will win this football game.
Yeah.
So, and looking at it, we'll talk about it, but with the Niners, is their biggest thing is they don't allow the big play. They haven't all season. That's why teams have struggles going against them, because they have to matriculate the ball down the field in smaller chunks. Well, okay, cool, but that's what the Lions do. Is they don't have the big explosive plays. They have a lot of 20-yard gains and 10-yard runs, but they don't have 50, 60-yard plays. That's just not in their offense. But it's efficient. It works.
Absolutely. And also, too, one of the things I noticed is that Aaron Jones was able to get through those cracks, man. And the Niners are going to have to deal with David Montgomery. He's strong.
Oh, you're trying to rile BJ up with the David Montgomery talk.
You too. He killed your prop bet also. Can't gain 54 and a half yards, you bum motherfucker.
But was it Gibbs taking his snaps too?
Yeah, so really ever since
Gibbs started the game.
Yeah.
Since Montgomery got hurt, and even once he's come back, Gibbs has started to come on, and he's taking more and more carries. Now, I still think that they need both players healthy and on the field, because we've talked about this. That if you have a power running back like a Montgomery is, that the shifty running backs are even more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Bum. He's just a bum.
BJ's just salty.
Because I wasn't asking for too much. 54 yards in a divisional playoff game, that's not too much. The over was not a terrible bet there.
So, question. So, if you're Shanahan and let's say Debo can't go, where do you find your offense from? Because you already know
they don't know.
Number 23,
they don't know.
Christian McCaffrey is what you need.
But that's not. It hasn't been enough. They had Christian in both those games that Debo missed.
Yep.
It's not enough. That offense, for whatever reason, relies on all its pieces being in play. And when one of the pieces are out, it gets sketchy.
And my thing is, like, Shanahan, like, he had a brain fart. I don't know what the hell happened. He ran a play that is for Debo, wide receiver in the backfield, taking the handoff with Jawan Jennings. And I think he fumbled it because he was like, what the hell's going on? You have to know as a play caller, like, I don't have the guy that normally runs this play. Don't run this play.
No, we're running it.
No. Because Scott Strider, you could execute. No, you're not. Not in that kind of weather, not in that kind of pressure.
Yeah. I think this next game, though, I believe Shanahan is going to get Kittle the ball a little bit, more to help out on offense, because with Kittle, when he catches the ball, I mean, good luck trying to take him down. Like, he's got to rely on Kittle, and he got to mix it up, because I'm sure the Lions will be like, oh shit, there's no Debo. They're gonna be doing a Birdman hand rub. Like, okay, let's put 8 in the box, because we don't trust Purdy throwing at anyone else except for McCaffrey, and I know he's gonna look at Ayuk. So I think Shanahan's gonna have to put Kittle in the mix and get him some balls this way.
If he's the offensive genius that we all think that he is, then yes. But to BJ's point, once Debo has gone out, that offense is not the same. And it makes no sense.
Telling you, I like the Lions.
So we'll pick that game a little bit later. But from a Green Bay perspective, I mean, to me, they're just starting out. This is Love's first full year. They were not supposed to make the playoffs. They made it. They came on late. I think, a piece here or there, they could be extremely dangerous next year.
I'm just trying to figure out why Jordan Love threw off his back foot, and he could have ran out of bounds or something to find,
Oh, it wasn't the back foot. It was late and across the middle.
Cardinal sin.
Late and across the middle. You can't even do that shit in Madden.
Nope.
Yeah.
It will be intercepted. That's just the way it works.
That's football.
Yep.
It's like the running game. It's common knowledge. Even us plebes that don't play the game professionally and analyze football know it.
So we got one more team on our hit list. For Tampa's sake, where do they go from here? Do they extend or sign Baker?
Yeah. Why not? Or what?
Yeah.
He's earned it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go like the whole 7-year, 5-year thing, maybe 3 years.
Hey, 3 years at $60 million. I think that's a perfect contract for Baker.
Now, will Baker take that? Who knows? But I mean, he's got to be a little gun shy too. He was on the outside looking in there for a few months,
Yeah.
a year or so. So he should probably take that into account. But if I were him, I realize his limitations. They need to keep talent around him as well as acquire more to be a more solid football team. He should probably think about that when he's doing negotiations.
And that's the thing that a lot of people forget is there's about 5 great quarterbacks. There's another 10 that, if with the right pieces around them on the right system, can be very serviceable.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins are great quarterbacks, but you put them in the right system with the right pieces, they can be dangerous.
Kirk was amazing this year before he got hurt. I can't let you slander Kirk Cousins' name this year.
Is he equivalent to Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow?
This year's Kirk Cousins with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
With the right pieces.
Well, that's what Joe Burrow has. So he would be equivalent to Joe Burrow.
Okay. What about Patrick Mahomes?
No, Patrick's on a different level than everybody in the league. But yeah, Kirk Cousins in that Cincinnati offense would be interesting.
So would you put Baker in that same category?
I mean, if you would have put Kirk Cousins on the Bucks, do they beat the Lions?
Well, here's the thing. Baker's got more riverboat gambler in him than just about anybody except Justin Herbert. And the way offenses are right now, that shit gets you in trouble. I don't know if Brett Favre could function right now. There's so much precision in NFL offenses with choice routes and timing and all this stuff that it's dangerous. You gotta find, kind of follow the script. And Baker and Herbert. Baker's probably protects the ball a little better than Justin Herbert does.
He'll still make the.
He'll give you one. He'll give you one.
Over the middle.
Yeah, I'll give you one.
So so Favre's out of this conversation, but if you could take one quarterback from the 70s, 80s, or 90s and put him in modern day offense, who would succeed the most?
You're gonna hate me for this, and I'm fine with it. Troy Aikman, by many accounts, was one of the most accurate passers in NFL history. I think that, combined with the timing and precision needed in today's offense, would be an interesting look.
Over Marino?
I mean, you're talking about like the most ultimate gunslinger ever.
Mm-hmm.
Marino would definitely be interesting. But Marino just kind of did what he wanted. Was there an offense? Name Miami's offensive coordinator. There you go. Insert dude here to hold clipboard.
Yeah, I would say for me it would be Dan Marino. But one person that would be exciting to watch in today's NFL would be Randall Cunningham.
Ooh.
Because I believe that he doesn't get enough credit he deserves as far as being a passer. He was a pretty decent passer. I mean, he wasn't Warren Moon as far as his accuracy, but
that was my next statement. That was my next statement was Warren Moon.
Yeah.
He threw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
For the 90s.
All over. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be interesting.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Joe Gibbs said that I think he said that Warren Moon was a spectacle passer. Like he said, I didn't see anything like it. As far as his passing goes.
Jim Kelly was kind of running an offense, way ahead of its time.
Jim Kelly was running the Warren Moon offense, but with a running game.
Yeah.
That's what Warren Moon needed more than anything. He needed an actual running back for the run and shoot. Instead it was just the shoot.
Yeah. Who was Warren Moon's running back? Was it Ernest Biner? Young Ernest? Because Earl Campbell had retired.
Ernest Biner played for Cleveland, dude.
Yeah, but it was somebody who played, not Ernest Biner. It was somebody I was.
Adam just said that was like a real fuck you tone. In case you didn't notice that, did you pick up on that?
He did.
But
it was. But I thought Ernest Biner played for the Oilers too, or maybe somebody. It was somebody. I'll find it.
Yeah, you're thinking Lorenzo White,
number 44.
Yeah.
Okay. And didn't he play for Cleveland too? Lorenzo White?
He might have.
How dare you make Adam look something up, you asshole.
Yeah, played one season in Cleveland in '95. I believe that was the Belichick season.
Why do you remember that dumb shit?
Because I'm looking it up on Wikipedia.
No, I'm talking to Dorian. Dorian's the one who said, didn't he play? Why do you remember that dumb shit?
Because I was an avid player of Tecmo Bowl, my G.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I remember playing with the Oilers and getting the shit fucked up when I was playing against the Bears.
Wait. You played Tecmo Bowl and you didn't have Bo Jackson. Where's like you're playing against somebody. They said,
what happened?
Hey, man, sometimes when you play that game, there's a rule against using the Raiders. No, you can't use the Raiders, I can't use the Raiders.
Plus, BJ, I would play Tecmo Bowl against Devin, and Devin would be like, yeah, I got the Raiders. What am I going to say? Right?
I just turned the game off. That motherfucker stole my Joe Montana of '94. When he was from Sega. I'll never forget that. He's like, "Can I borrow it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like sure. We're friends." No, we're not. We're not
For
friends.
those listening, all right. So, really quickly, for my cousin Devin, right? He was notorious um, for game trading, air quotes.
Yeah, yeah. He was like Debo of Sega.
Yeah,
Yeah, trading like the Panthers trade. Here, take everything and
I'd be like, "Hey man, can I get my game back?" "Oh, so and so's got it." "Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know." "Oh, okay." So I'd ask
Or
them, they'd be like, "I don't have it. Devin has it." "Oh shit, here we go."
uh, shout out to Devin, man.
Yeah, I will tell you this though. I had to straighten him one time. Motherfucker tried to play keep away with my Sean Kemp jersey. That's when the BB gun came out, bitch. Put my Sean Kemp jersey down. I'll shoot you in the ass with this BB gun. I got my Sean Kemp jersey back.
Oh man.
so funny little tidbit about Warren Moon. Get back on topic. He led the league in completion percentage 1 year.
Oh, just because you throw it a lot doesn't mean you throw it good. Or that anybody specific is catching it.
Yeah. Well, what was funny about that 1 year, that was 92, when they played the Bills in the playoffs. Going back to the lack of a running game.
Dang.
But, whatever. I mean, it'd be nice to watch some of these old quarterbacks that had the talent, and had the physical talent, but didn't have the players around them, or didn't have an offensive coach that realized that the game was not in the 1950s anymore.
What about there's another quarterback.
Dan
What
Fouts.
about John Elway? Yeah, Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts is out there slinging it in San Diego.
Yeah.
John Elway?
Frank Tarkenton.
That's
Yeah.
who he said.
Yeah, John Elway would have been interesting.
Yeah.
No, like breaking people's hands and legs and shit.
I still love that. Is it Greg Jennings or Donald Driver? One of them. That Brett Favre story.
Or his driver.
Yeah, Driver. He's trying to make an impression on Brett Favre. So they were going through the line after catching the ball, and he walked by him and said, "Is that all you got, old man?" And the next time through, Brett Favre broke 2 of his fingers. There you go.
So we'll do our picks, because I know people are, for whatever reason, want to bet against us, but whatever.
If we're talking about the spread, you better bet against me.
So Dorian has clinched the season, but he's at 57-41. I'm at 47-51, and BJ has crossed the 40 mark. He's at 40-58. Again, this is all against the spread. If you want to make money, just figure out who we pick and then go against them.
Well, it's getting a little more sketchy now. When there were 16 games a week, you had a better shot of making money. But now there's only 2 games. So you're rolling the dice.
Yep. So the NFL's worst nightmare is that their best game is the first game on Sunday. So the Kansas City and Baltimore game is actually at 3 o'clock on Sunday. It is not in prime time. But Baltimore, as of the time that I pulled this, was a 3.5-point favorite. So BJ, I'll go to you first.
Sure, I can fuck this up. I like the Chiefs to actually win. Not even spread betting. Actual win.
Dorian.
This is tough for me. But I'm gonna say this. My heart, I would like to see Baltimore win, but Patrick Mahomes is like the modern day Brady. You don't want to see him in the playoffs. So I'm thinking, and also too, you're telling Pat Mahomes, I need you to win one game. One game. Just I need defense to just hone in on Lamar for one game. I'm taking Kansas City. I will pick Kansas City.
Yeah. BJ had a good point earlier talking about Kansas City's defenses. They contained Josh Allen. They didn't stop him, but they contained him. Very similar in style to Lamar. Lamar is faster. I think I think Allen is a better passer. He's a stronger passer, but I think Lamar is more accurate when he needs to be. But Kansas City is like the best way to say it is they're freaking Jason Voorhees of the NFL. You better make sure that they are dead. There's a stake in their heart. Their head is chopped off. You better not. That game better not be close in the fourth quarter, or you will lose. Because you're talking Patrick Mahomes against Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes has been in the championship game every single year as a starter. No quarterback has ever done that. Not even Brady. I'm sorry. I can't pick against him. I can't pick against the Chiefs. I'm going with Kansas City. So the next one is Detroit versus San Francisco. This was a 6.5 point line. It's now been bet up to 7. So that's where the public money is going. So Dorian, we'll start with you. So you started BJ last time.
Again, my heart, I would like to see Detroit go. However, I do believe that Kyle Shanahan's going to be prepared for the Lions. It's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be 6.5. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot smaller than that. But I'm going to go San Francisco.
So hold on. I just want to make sure. If you're picking San Francisco, you're picking San Francisco to beat the spread.
Well, no. Take spread out of it. I'm just going to pick San Francisco just.
Okay, so you got the Detroit against the spread.
Yeah, so you're saying Detroit, yeah.
Okay, because I heard what you were saying. I'm like, wait a second, I don't think he's.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So I got you, dude.
Appreciate it.
I'm looking at the stats here. Defensive pass yards for San Francisco has them in the middle of the pack, and I just feel like the Lions can exploit this defense. I'm gonna pick the Lions to win. The Lions in the Super Bowl. Ugh.
Well, I mean, the Lions in the Super Bowl will have a Trump presidency in 2004, and that the world's going to go to hell. So
that's like selling Tiffany China in Walmart.
I hope for an Orlando Magic NBA Finals too, but that's another story.
Dude, you're just tempting fate at this point. Stop it. I feel as if this game is going to be close. But I feel at the end, I think San Francisco is going to pull away at the end. I think it's going to be probably like a 3-point game in the fourth quarter, and San Francisco is going to score a touchdown, go up by 10, and just hold Detroit. So I'm actually taking San Francisco in the spread. It's been a fun ride. It's been a really fun the past couple months for me. But I think this is when it ends for the Lions. It's just I don't see them in the Super Bowl. I just don't, because it's never happened before, and I don't see it happening again this year.
I believe, man.
So
I do hope it's not a strategy, but
hope may not be a strategy. But Dan Quinn's using it as Dan Campbell's using it as a weapon in Detroit.
Absolutely.
Now I will say this: it would be fun. I don't think this is going to happen, but it would be fun to have Kansas City play Detroit and have Taylor Swift versus Eminem in the Super Bowl.
And Usher at halftime. That'd be pretty.
Taylor Swift comes down from the press box and goes out there and performs.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just want to see two new teams. Man, I love to see the Lions and Ravens, just something, or two. I say quarterbacks, even though Jared Goff been there before. But
well, and that's the thing. So, okay, so Goff is trying to go against history. There are 3 quarterbacks in the history of the Super Bowl that have lost their first Super Bowl appearance and actually even made it back.
Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly's one.
Oh man, John Elway.
John Elway.
Yep.
And Brett Favre.
Nope, he won his first one.
Oh, that's right. He won his first. That's right.
Peyton Manning.
Nope, won his first one.
That was the other way around. Okay. I'm trying here. Dang.
Bob Greasy.
Nope. Bob Greasy. Oh,
Bob Greasy.
That's right.
Lost to the Cowboys in '71.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a trend. 3 out of 57. It's hard to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be impressive if he can make it. That'd be dope.
Haha, Jalen Hurts.
So I will say this. So I'm sure we've all seen the memes about how the NFL is scripted and how they want certain teams to be in the Super Bowl, and we probably all saw the picture on social media. Baltimore versus San Francisco, Super Bowl. I'm gonna say this, that if I'm an organization, and I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on, but if I'm an organization that's been accused of scripting things, of setting things up and making sure that it's there, then wouldn't I leak something that was wrong so that people bet on that and I make a shit ton of money with my sportsbook partners?
If the NFL is scripted and Jerry Jones has the Cowboys as popular as they are with as much money as he puts into the NFL, why are the Cowboys not won 5 or 6 Super Bowls over the last 20 years?
Yes. So
that's all I have to know. You don't think Jerry Jones would have wedged his way into Super Bowl appearances by now?
At least once.
As hands-on as he is in the NFL, you're absolutely out of your mind.
So you notice the people that said the NFL is scripted are those whose teams lost?
Yeah. It's scripted.
Oh, especially Buffalo fans. They wanted Mahomes in
the AFC
Championship.
Then make your fucking field goal.
They're idiots. And you're on punishment. You went 4 times in a row and lost all 4 times. You're on punishment. You're on punishment for the foreseeable future. You had your shot. They gave you the script to go 4 times in a row and you blew the script.
No, they just gave you a bad confidence to play, and that's what happened.
Oh man, yeah. I heard it all today. You know, Kansas City was holding all those times Mahomes was in the pocket. You can tell.
There's holds on every play.
Every single play. You talk about holding again. Talk about Dallas Cowboys. Look what happened with Micah Parsons all freaking season.
Yeah, you think he would have had 20 sacks if they officiated him properly. He's unstoppable. They have to grab him by the neck. They have to tackle him to the ground. Like this. I mean, you can watch. This isn't me being a Cowboys fan. Watch the tape. If you're an actual football fan, you can go on YouTube, and I'm sure they have a highlight reel of him being grabbed, tackled, twisted. I mean, all kinds of things that have happened to Micah throughout the year. Yeah. And you think if the NFL is rigged, Jerry wasn't going to fix that? Give me a break. There's so many signs pointing to more or less like bad calls, bad play calling, bad coaching, and human error.
So what you're saying is that Eagles fans should shut up. The NFL's not scripted. Their team just sucks.
If they could read, they'd be mad. But yeah, I don't like Eagles fans. I've always wanted to go to Philadelphia for the history, but just watching Eagles fans make me just want to scratch that off the list. And then the thought of going to Boston and having to listen to that accent while I'm up there, that scratched that off the list too.
Boston.
No. Park the car.
Yeah.
Make it pie. So
sorry.
Yeah. Who has the worst fan base in the NFL?
Well, the worst fan base, the Cowboys.
You said it, not me.
Well, they think it's time to destroy. They think they're going to the Super Bowl every year, and then they want to destroy everything when something happens. Do they not understand that we had Leighton Vander Esch out on that defense? We had Trayvon Diggs out on that defense. We had no investment in the defensive line whatsoever. They drafted a defensive tackle from the University of Michigan, Mozzie Smith, to stop the run, and they told him he had to lose weight. What? Mm-hmm. Just be fat and stand there. So, there's several things that happened on the defense and offense this year, and they want to blow the whole thing up. The Cowboys might be one of the most ignorant fan bases, but as far as who I would not want to hang around, those Philly fans are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. You can smell them through the television. I don't think they're good people. I don't know.
Doring, you want to weigh in on this?
Someone out there passing around extra chromosomes.
From what I witnessed, the worst fans were Browns fans. I mean, Eagles fans can be annoying, but Browns fans, I know
Well, I
Browns fans,
mean,
they're like
they're just drinking
obnoxious.
away their sorrows. I mean,
Look, could you imagine living in Ohio?
no, I don't want to.
Could you
They're
imagine?
It's
obnoxious,
the
man.
sea of sadness.
Exactly. We were good until they moved the original franchise to Baltimore, and now
No,
we're
y'all
cursed.
weren't. Shut up.
They moved him out there for a reason. And look, shocker, they won the Super Bowl a few years later. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Um,
New York fans can be obnoxious
Oh,
too.
just New York in general, sports fans,
Yeah.
not Giants, Jets,
Yeah.
just New York fans in
Yeah.
general.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel bad for Jets fans. They're pretty damn loyal. And they get no return.
Yeah.
No return whatsoever. No playoff appearances. No hope. Like they get nothing in return. They're like the Jaguar fans of the North.
I mean, the truth is the truth, man.
Y'all get no hope.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just
We get a glimmer, and then it gets shut down by.
delusion and smokescreen.
It's like, we need a quarterback. We should pick one in this draft. Oh, shit.
I mean, from what I'm hearing, that there's no extension. There hasn't been any extension talks for Lawrence
Hell
at all.
no. But look what you're saying when you say that. You're admitting that the first round pick, #1 overall, is a failure. That's what you're saying. That's a huge fail.
I mean, as a homer, I'm
Oh.
hoping that the next year there's some type of improvement. There has to be, because right now Kevin Britton is like,
You should hold your
you
breath.
know. So yeah, so I'm
Hold your breath about that.
So, to BJ's point, here are the #1 draft picks in the NFL. Bryce Young. The jury's still on him, but I think we know where they're gonna go. Trayvon Walker, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, Jared Goff, Jameis Winston, Jadeveon Clowney, Eric Fisher, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, Sam Bradford, Matthew Stafford, Jake Long, Jamarcus Russell, Mario Williams,
You're
Alex
going to
Smith.
players that aren't even playing anymore.
So I'm going back to 2000, and you've got like 4 that like, okay, you are clearly a bust. To be in that category, you have to be really bad.
I'm trading out of it. I'm trading out of it, trying to get 2 picks out of the deal, maybe 3.
Yep.
You can have that first round pick. You look like the idiot. Because most teams that have the first round pick do not have the support system to help that quarterback they're drafting in first round.
Okay, so just a correction. So every team has a first round pick. You're talking about the #1 overall pick.
#1 overall pick.
Yeah. There was a reason
Trade
why
down.
you had the #1 overall pick, because you sucked.
Yeah, and you don't have the support system to help that quarterback,
No.
so you might as well work on the support system.
Right.
Again, build inside out. It is not that freaking complicated.
Well, it is the problem. It's easy for us to say because we don't have fan bases breathing down our neck.
Fair.
You got the Mongoloids like the Eagles and Cowboys fan bases breathing down your neck. You got to take the flash pick.
Yeah, but didn't the Cowboys become solid once they picked up Zach Martin?
Oh, they started before that. Whenever I can't remember what year it was, but whenever Will McClay signed on, that's when he kind of started taking over the actual talent portion of the show, and things have changed for the Cowboys from that point forward. I'm pretty sure he started when Romo was still playing. But yeah, that's the problem is we're picking using logic. They have emotion involved because they could get fired about this shit. We're not getting fired over our stupid pick ideas.
No. McClay took over in 2017.
Yeah, so ever since then, they had their draft picks before that were okay, but Will McClay's consistently put talent on that roster.
Speaking of drafting, did we mention the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, they tend to draft nicely.
Yeah, Ozzie Newsome knows what he's doing.
It's not even Ozzie Newsome anymore. There's another guy that's been there for a few years. They just brought his name up during the game. Eric DaCosta.
I agree. See, the thing with being a good NFL GM is just like being a good NFL offensive lineman. We shouldn't know your name. You should just go do your job and you'd be solid. Because if we know your name, we're trying to fire you.
Yeah, he took over in 2019. Now they are struggling drafting receivers. They got the Zay Flowers pick right, but I feel like Zay fell in their lap more than anything.
Yes.
A lot of the first round isn't where GMs make their money, anyways.
Nope.
It's the second, third, fourth, and fifth round.
It's cliche, but it's cliche for a reason. Is like the shiny, flashy pick is the first round pick, but you build out your roster second through seventh round.
Yep, you gotta do the work. You gotta find people that you can use in your system and mold them.
You gotta have a system that works. You gotta have a coach that can develop those players into that system. And that combination's hard to find.
An article just popped up on my phone while I was looking things up. Chip Kelly is drawing interest from multiple NFL teams. Oh my God! Please put him in the NFC East.
Please let him coach Chicago.
Giants, Washington.
That's a guaranteed win.
Oh my God, that's 2 a year. Banana smoothies for everybody. And I'm going to trade all your superstars away. Got rid of Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy. Solid. Who needs talent, right?
Yeah. Well, because Chip Kelly knows all.
No, it's the system.
Oh,
the system.
Of course.
The system wins the games.
Yes.
See, what we're going to do is we're going to go 3 and out 5 times in a row.
See,
put the defense in such a deficit that they have to use oxygen machines the rest of the game. And then we're going to score 1 touchdown.
See, my offensive strategy is to go fast. And when that doesn't work, we need to go faster.
Tell you what, and I flamed your cousin on this. I sent him a picture of a burnt piece of toast. There's a game the Cowboys were playing, and Bradley Fletcher was covering Des Bryant. Des Bryant scored 3 times on the same route from the same distance from the end zone in the same game. 3 times, bang, 9 route, bang, touchdown. I was like, coach, you might want to try putting somebody else out there, or it's less embarrassing to just leave him uncovered. Just let him go do it and catch it. And that's when I knew Chip Kelly was in trouble. I was like, you believe in what you're doing so much that you're denying evidence that it's not working. Thank you. I used to tell him all the time, I was like, I swear to God, Jerry Jones hired Chip Kelly for the Eagles. Some kind of agreement there.
We've really seen people in the past 10, 15 years just completely deny evidence of a thing. They believe so hard that they're going to deny evidence.
Just blindly following a system. And that's to bring it back to the Cowboys, because apparently, according to your cousin, that's all I do. But that's kind of what they're accusing Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn of, is blindly following their system no matter what happens. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure we talked about this during the Cowboys game or afterwards. It's just more of the same. There's nothing special about what they were doing in the playoffs. There were no wrinkles or gimmicks or you got to do something different. You just put 17 games of film for these teams to look at. You got to change it up a little bit. You got to be a little different. I'm not talking about double reverses and flea flickers. I'm talking about if you normally run a slant here, maybe you run a slant and go, or a slant and out. Like, you got to do something different.
You guys can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but to me, you coach the regular season with your system. This is what works. This is what's going to get us wins. We know this. When you get to the postseason and you're given time and the margins are so small, that's when you coach against the other team.
It's all about punch and counter punch. There was no counter punch. Yeah. They just kept throwing that same right hand.
Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, and there was no counter punch.
Do you think they underestimated the Packers? They're like, oh, this young team, our defense should be able to.
I would like to think that the people in charge are not that stupid. I would like to think that they aren't that stupid. However, I don't know. But I will say this. They don't do anything special. that offense is old. That offense has been around since Mike McCarthy was in the pack with the Packers. It's not special, but because it's based on quick throws and getting the ball out quick, it makes it somewhat effective because you can't get your hands on Dak as much because the ball's out in 2.5 seconds. But if you take that first read away, that's when it gets sketchy. And that's what the Packers were able to do, make them look. And the thing is, if you had counter punches for your typical punch, you would have still kept Dak on schedule. They chose not to do that for whatever reason. I don't know if it was underestimating the Packers or just being bland as a manila envelope.
Yeah, I would think that if the Packers came down that first drive and went 75 yards down the field, scored a touchdown, and then Dallas adjusted, I would say, yeah, they underestimated. They didn't play him. But the Packers kept doing that every single drive. That wasn't underestimating. That was a bad scheme. So, but enough of making fun of the Cowboys this week. I think we'll call it a night. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sandlot Sports.
Peace.